In this video, I'll be showing some of my own artwork. Again, I am not an artist, so feel free to critique me, but I am not claiming to be an artist by any means. It's just something I do for fun. I would not even say an well, I'm an art aficionado. I'm not an expert at art though. Um, so this is one that I showed in one of the other videos briefly, but this is just a drawing that I did. That sort of represents the different stages of my life that I've been through. I have birth here and then early childhood, some of the things that I've done, some of the video games that I've played, some of the activities that I had engaged in, water skiing and martial arts. And I think the soccer ball there, water tubing. And then I move on to my 20s where I went to college, improved my brain a bit. And then I have cannabis here, a bong, where I first tried that. I went to Australia in grad school where I had my first overseas relationship, long distance relationship, with a person that I'm still on good terms with and who I broke up with. And I hope she forgives me for that. And I wish I could show her a better time or could have showed her a better time when she was here in Buffalo. She showed me a really good time in Australia. Excuse me, really good time in Australia, but I was young and dumb then, so and I cared more about this stuff here than I did about her, and that might have been dumb of me. But I'm glad she's doing well now. She has a husband and kid, and I'm very happy for her. And yeah, I'm good. I kind of like being single anyway. Um, Maybe I really do want to get married someday, but and have a kid. But right now, I enjoy being single. Getting a bit old for it at 34, almost 35. But anyway, I mapped Europe there. Went to Europe after I graduated from college. Have more college stuff here, book and laptop and things like that. So I then moved on to my 30s, where went through some hard times in my 30s. After I quit grad school, I job jumped around in my mid to late 20s for a while. And then, I got into a bit of legal trouble, nothing major, just a slap on the wrist. But for me, it was kind of a big deal. Nothing major, clean record overall. So that's good for me there. Um, so yeah, just showing some of the different jobs that have done. I was a metal fabricator for a while, landscape for a while, was a legal assistant for a while. Have YouTube and Netflix here, which I've gotten into more in my 30s and late 20s. And I have some sneakers there, show that I've been walking more. And I don't know what this is here. I have no idea. That might be a potato chip or something. But I did quit those, so I don't know. Maybe that's why I put that there. But anyway, again, nothing special here. But I'm feeling cathartic this week, so I'm going to show you all what I've been doing with myself. Or if I was watching, which is probably no one. But anyway, this is another drawing that I did, just showing again different stages of my future life. So when I'm in my 40s, I would really like to have a house of my own, a wife. My son should be there also. I'd love to have a son someday. And has other stuff that I'd like to have too. Maybe a arcade machine in the basement, and maybe some billiards, like a pool table, dartboard, things like that. Got a beer there. Um, and then I have this here, which is kind of what I want to do in my 50s, as well as my 40s, and maybe even my 30s too. But, just to travel the US more, see more of the cities, have the plane there, the city, skyline, and do more art, paint more, do some stop motion films, maybe some more short films, do more of these YouTube reviews. I really do enjoy doing these, and I want to get more into art, so that's something that I really should get into and will. Um, and then I have my later life, the end of my life. So I have the RIP gravestone there. I have the virtual reality headset, so I think we'll all be more into a virtual world. That's obviously going to be connected to the real world, but it will be more virtual as I get older. Have a NASA rocket ship, maybe a SpaceX rocket ship here. Really into NASA, into space. Have a pizza there. Have a beaker just to represent science. Solar panel here to represent the importance of solar power. Um, PN band gaps, so on and so forth. Have DNA here, and this is an atom there. So yeah, and I have more art and cannabis and beer and psilocybin mushrooms here, which are legal in Austria. So maybe I'll go there someday and use those, or ingest them rather. I think that's a better way of putting that. Again, legal here in America, so don't do that if you are here. I don't want anybody to get in trouble. Just showing what I want to do in life, what I have done in life. I've drawn some of the people that I've been watching recently. I have James Rolfe here. He's the Cinemasker guy who does a lot of videos on video games and film. And I don't know why I'm like super obsessed with height and age. So I put their height and their age next to them. I don't know why that is, but it's something in me that I am into. Here's Tim Heidecker. He's a comedian. You probably all know of him. Tim and Eric, awesome show. Great job is probably his greatest work. He has really good work now also. Still doing really, really well. Office Hours is really good. Beef House is really good. I'm trying to think of what else I've seen. Tim and Eric Night Live, Tim and Eric Bedtime Stories. Jash has some really good stuff on there too. Just super prolific comedian, very smart. And yeah, I'd highly recommend him. He's very smart, good comedy. This here is Ming Tsai here in the yellow, which is a bit harder to see, but he is a chef who had some restaurants for a while, I think in the greater Boston area. I think he went into physics for a while when he was in school, but then switched to the culinary arts. Has a really good cooking show on, or I don't know if it still exists or not, but it was on PBS. So check him out if you're interested in him. I have Rick Steves up here, which I've mentioned in a couple of my previous videos. He's very smart also. Does a show called Rick Steves Europe, which shows a lot of the European culture. He gives travel tips. He shows what the art there is like, what the food is like, what the liquor is like. Shows all types of things in Europe. Has a very good show. And I'm losing my voice, so I'll have to do this quickly. But Rick Steves is also good. Um, Again, these are not perfect. I didn't trace these. I copied them off of Google, but that's the best I can do in terms of copying right now. So these aren't what they really look like, but I tried to get as close as I could. And then I have a few more people here. This is Devin Stone. He has a channel called Legal Eagle. He is a working lawyer who also has a YouTube channel. He has really good videos on current events and how law relates to them, as well as some funner. Is funner a word? It has more fun videos where he looks at film and television where court proceedings take place, and then he analyzes them to see how realistic they are, and he gives them a grade, like an A plus for a court scene in a television show that's very realistic, and a D minus to one that's not realistic. So he's really good too. Check him out, Legal Eagle. He's also on YouTube. Real name's Devin Stone. He's out of Washington D.C. He is an actual lawyer, so and he's well versed. So look him up. This is Isaac Arthur. He has a really interesting channel that's devoted to science, some science fiction in there also, but the technology that's behind a lot of really heady scientific concepts, things like O'Neill cylinders, Shikardov thrusters, um, uh, Birch planets, ecumenopolises, economics. Ecumenopolises are citywide or planets that are essentially cities or cities that are the size of planets. O'Neill cylinders are rotating cylinders that rotate with different habitats in them. Um, Shikardov thrusters are a type of thruster that uses the power of the sun, so to speak. I think that's what that is. Dyson spheres, which are other structures that use the power of the sun. Kardashev scales, which are scales which determine the power of planets. And all sorts of other large scientific structures that specifically deal with space. Ramjets, scramjets, which are subsonic and hypersonic um, spaceships. Seed ships. He talks about the different types of aliens that might exist out there in the universe. He's really well versed in that type of field, space and science. A bit of science fiction too. Not quite as much, but he does have a bit of that on his channel. So check him out too. Isaac Arthur has a really good channel there. And then Adam Savage, which you probably all know from Mythbusters, has a really good YouTube channel called I think it's Adam Savage Tested or Savage Tested. I'm blanking right now, but he has a really good YouTube channel. I think it is Adam Savage Tested. I don't know why I thought it was Savage Tested, but he is a prop maker originally, and he has returned to that post Mythbusters. And he has a lot of interesting videos which create um, props based off movies. One of his recent ones um, involves him making the proton packs, but they're miniature versions of them, which is really interesting. There's a lot of science behind the proton packs, which I've looked into, like the governors and regulators, and even the actual proton shooters or the guns to them have the good science to them, like the fermions and the leptons and the different types of spins those particles have to use to catch those, the ghosts, so to speak. Same with the muon traps. Those traps have interesting uh, scientific basis behind them too. They essentially are used to weigh down the ghosts which have negative energy. So the traps emit negative energy, and that negative energy weighs down the ghosts into the trap, whereas the proton pack emits a positive energy which attracts the ghosts to them. So if you're interested in that type of thing, like spin state and quantum physics, or even just physics in general, looking at that, I went on a tangent there, but anyway, Adam Savage has really good prop making skills. Savage Tested, check him out there. He does do video game reviews on there also, which are also good. He does a lot of builds in his workshops, where a lot of them aren't necessarily based on pop culture like the proton packs, but he does do a lot of good builds. So if you're interested in how things are built and how things are made from a pop maker's point of view, look him up. It's really a good site. And again, he's on YouTube, Savage Tested. So then I have me here. I am in green here. That's as close as I can get to what I really look like. That's I think a mirror image, so that might be off a bit, but that's a drawing I did of myself. And I have some t-shirt ideas here. I have the formula for a cylinder, pi r squared times height. I'm trying to think of what else I could do. Yeah, the formula of a sphere, which is 4/3 pi r squared. You have a formula for a cone, which is pi r squared times height divided by 3. I think that's a pyramid actually, so that's what that is. And then another t-shirt idea here. I mentioned this in another video on Titan Ray Ipsa Lockwoodder. which I learned from Devin Stone on Legal Eagle, who I mentioned just a minute ago. Negligence is inherent in the fault. So be aware of when you're building something, don't be negligent, be careful and cautious. And then I have this here, Flying Tigers. Those were planes used by the U.S. in World War II to fight the Japanese. And I don't know much about World War II, but I'm getting more into it. I know a bit about it, but that's something that I'm getting into also. And then I have this here, broil. Learning what the term broil is. I remember that I know it's all around cooking, and I just learned today from my stove and oven that it's at a higher temperature. I thought roast was a higher temperature, and that may still be true, so I'll have to look that up. But I have broil here just to show my interest in cooking. Again, these are just representations of my interests, math and science and history and culinary arts and all those things here. I think they'd be good t-shirts. Let me know if you agree or not. Um, and then this is based on a joke that I heard from Tim Nyberg. It says it'll only be the two of us. Look that joke up on his channel, or just put that phrase in with Tim Nyberg next to it, and you'll probably find his joke on Pub Talks. A bit raunchy, but it's interesting. He has a good channel too. I'll talk about him also in another video, Tim Nyberg. And this is proprioception here, which is the parietal lobe's activity where it senses external stimuli. So that's what the parietal lobe is meant to do. It's very close to the temporal lobe. It's a bit farther back in the brain, but that's what the parietal lobe does, is it senses stimuli, and it's majorly involved in new technologies that deal with haptics, which are used in VR technology. So haptics are technology that create vibrations. So like the controllers that you use on video games that provide like a dual shock or a shaking feeling to create a more realistic experience, that all has to do with proprioception, which comes from the parietal lobe, which can go all the way up to here, and it goes, I think not quite far back as the cerebellum, but it goes from about here to about here in the brain. And I think that's it for art. I'm just going to double check quickly if I have anything else here. I just have this one here, Life's Leisure, which is similar to the other ones that I made, but it's a bit more pyramid-like. It has a better pyramid structure to it. And I think I'm going to make one where there's just one of each of these themes at the bottom. I'll just make this one thing wider, and then this one thing wider here, not quite as wide, but wide, and then same thing going throughout here. And I already did that there, so. So yeah, this is just me toying around a bit. That could be considered abstract expressionism, so to speak. But that's a game that my dad taught me how to play in childhood. Just if you're feeling tense, just draw a line and try to fill the entire page of that line without picking up the pencil from the page. And that's very therapeutic, and it's harder than you think it is. And I didn't get very far on this one. But I'd done more when I was a kid. But this one's good for me now. Same thing with this one here, which is a bit better. But that's a good therapeutic exercise. Just practicing my print and cursive there. And I should mention I am left-handed now, and I have been since I was 24. I am almost 35 now, so I only have 10 years of left-handedness under my belt, which should explain my poor handwriting and poor artwork skills. But my heart is on this side here, so that's why I use my left hand more, if that makes any sense. So anywho, here's another painting here, or not painting, a drawing. This is a self-portrait of myself when I had longer hair. So there's me. And these here, this text here are video game reviews that I've done in the past. So let's see. I think that's it for artwork. Just have a bunch of other nonsense in here that I write about. Here's some just doodles that I did of Spidey here. And then I think that's Spidey, also his body there. T-shirt. Um, let's see what else I've drawn here. I think that might be it. Oh, no, I have some more. So this is kind of lame. This is me digging into my inner child, and I'm trying to get out of this stuff, kind of. But I do watch this stuff occasionally still. I have this idea where, since they're all in New York City, why don't the Ghostbusters meet up with the Mario Brothers before they go to the Mushroom Kingdom? And they can also meet with Spidey and Daredevil and the Ninja Turtles. I did write some of this too, and I don't know where that is, but I wrote it, and I don't know where it is. I think I deleted it, or I just misplaced it. So, but I wrote most of it, not the actual script, but I wrote an outline for it. So I don't know. Hey, if you want to credit me on that, if you want to follow through, just remember that I had that idea originally. Um, so anyway, this here is the villain that I thought of for the film. I would want to use other villains also. I would use Kingpin for Daredevil. I would use the Green Goblin for Spidey. And then this would be the villain for the Ghostbusters. And then the Koopas would be coming in from the Mushroom Kingdom for the Mario Brothers. And then Shredder would obviously be the one for the Ninja Turtles, and he would use his foot soldiers. And again, I really do want to get out of this stuff. I don't want to watch this stuff anymore. But you know, I'm not quite 35 yet, so I figure I'll watch it a bit more, and then I'll quit when I'm 35. Um, I might still watch a little bit, but I don't want to watch it as much as I used to. But you know, good stuff from my childhood. I have this idea where each of these meet somehow, but I won't go too much into the plot there because I actually might write that someday. Um, but this is the villain that I would use for the Ghostbusters. His name is Sam E. Linsman. He is a former bank robber who was killed during a bank robbery by one of his friends who was, or friend, partner, who betrayed him. And so, as a ghost, he robs banks to attempt a former sense of himself. And he is in the film also. So, again, this is lame stuff, but it's you know, just stuff I've done, and just to keep my mind active. And these are some of the I made a over the weekend when I was feeling impish on Saturday. I did the Halloween Hell House video where I did the fan of pain, and I couldn't fit my finger in the fan, and I don't think I would do that anyway because I think would hurt my finger. I don't think it would hurt me seriously, but if you do want to try that, I don't think it's gonna cause too much harm. I just couldn't fit my pinky in there. That's the fan of pain as the vampire on the side there. If you want to take a look at that, you can. And then I have the knifey fingers, which I did. I can't go super fast or rapidly on that yet, but um, that's another one that I did for that video. Hot toaster touch, I accidentally did today when I was doing my toaster reviews, so I didn't do it for the video as I chickened out, but I did do that accidentally today. If you touch it for a second, you'll be fine. It'll go away in like a second or two, maybe a few seconds, or 5 or 6 seconds or something like that. I did the TP Mummy wrap. I did that last minute, but the artwork kind of shows that there. And then Supernatural Swirly. The Swirly felt surprisingly good. The Swirly felt kind of weird at first, but when it finishes, it does feel good on your head. So if you want to try a Swirly out, just make sure your toilet's clean, and then which mine wasn't really, but try it out if you wanna do that. I have the Tonfa shins. I was going to do it with my skateboard, but I got rid of my skateboard because I skateboarded one time and then I broke my elbow doing that. So I got rid of my skateboard because I just figured I don't want to break any more bones anymore, and skateboard's a lot harder than it looks. I did some when I was in college, like just doing like a riding on the board and balancing on a board, and I can do like a tic tac. But when I tried it at the skate park, when I tried going down even the smallest ramp, I just fell and broke my right elbow. So do wear elbow pads. They are not kidding when they say you will break something if you fall from that height. However tall you are, you will break something. Unless you have super strong bones, which go ahead and don't and well, do whatever you want. Um, so yeah, there's the tonfa shins where I dropped the tonfas on my shins. That hurt for a couple of seconds, but then it went away relatively quickly. So you have the veiny band here where you snap the rubber band on your vein. I think that might be an artery actually there. I don't know what that is. I know veins are to the heart and then arteries send blood away from the heart. But I don't know. I don't know what that is there. I did it on this, uh, whatever that is there. And then I have the corpse cold tongue, which I just put my tongue on the ice cubes in my freezer, and they did get stuck to them for a second, but if you pull it off fast enough, you should stick to it, and it doesn't really hurt. It doesn't really hurt at all. So if you want to try that, feel free to do that. I have habanero hellfire here. I chickened out on this one. I don't think I can handle a habanero. Maybe I'll do that for my birthday, but I chickened out on this one. Habaneros seem really hot to me, but maybe I'll try that for my birthday. Halloween Hell House there. That's not really art, that's just text, so I'll put that to the side there. Have a tape mouth here. Just put tape over my mouth, and my beard kind of ruined that. It probably would have hurt more if I put the tape over a shaved surface, but this, doesn't really hurt if you have a beard and mustache. And then I have the mint chocolate bar here, which is actually a bar of soap. That isn't bad either. If you keep the bar in for a while, it's just going to be soapy for a bit, but it goes away after a minute or two. And let's see what else I have here. I don't think I really have anything else. I have some doodles here, but they're like not even doodles. They're like scraps, faint doodles here, which you can't even see. So I'm just going to check and see if I have anything else to show you. That's not really, I have this here, cannabis here, which I think I'm going to stop smoking because I'm getting older and my lungs cannot handle it anymore, even though cannabis is said to be safer than nicotine with the tar in it. So here's a bee there. I drew a bee there, and trying to find out what else I have here. Again, some of these aren't even doodles worth showing. They're just like stuff that I draw when I'm half awake. And they're not even doodles. They're like quasi doodles. Like this here might be a doodle, just a happy face. This here, I was thinking about making an album, like an EP, once I get a guitar. So this is originally Spidey Boy, and then I changed it to Grad School Dropout. I might do that someday. I might make an EP with my guitar someday, which I think I can do. I could probably do that. I did play trumpet for 9 years, so I could probably perform music still from age 9 to 18, and I did practice a bit after that. So, and I still have sheet music for my trumpet too, so I might be able to use that for my guitar. A lot of it's jazz, but that's fine. I can do that and look up other music online now too, thanks to the internet. So I got some more cannabis here. I gotta, stop smoking that stuff, and I've been good about that lately. So I'm happy with myself with that. And then that's it for that. No more artwork for me, and I'm not an artist or claim to be one, but I just wanted to be a bit cathartic this week and show you what I've been doing. And that's it. So thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you have a good rest of the day.